What's up guys, Brendan back here and today I have another video on the channel, and today we're doing a good old classic movie review. Yes, a movie review today because I felt like it. It's of course not a classic, like superhero movie I usually do reviews for on the channel. We're doing, it's a horror film reviewing today called Talk to Me, which came out, it'll be 2 months now, this September that it came out, so it's been like 2 months, so it's fairly recent still. But yeah, I want to talk about and do a review for it because I was excited for the film coming out. Because the main reason being that it actually was made by YouTubers. It was made by the YouTube channel known as the RackaRacka, who are Danny and Michael Philippou of RackaRacka. They are like Aussie YouTubers who their channel's great, by the way. If you never checked them out, they got some great stuff. I mean, depending on what your tolerance is to violence, because some of their videos, or most of their videos, are not like the most PG things a lot of time. They're pretty graphic a lot of times, but I mean, if you're into that stuff and have a tolerance for a good tolerance for it, then I think you'll enjoy them. But that's kind of why I was excited to see this film. I've been watching them for a good few years now and love their stuff. When I heard they were making a film, I thought, that's awesome. I can't wait to see what they're going to do with it. And it's generally a really great film, just right off the bat. It's a generally great film. And I thought it should also be, a fitting thing to review because, it's YouTubers making a movie, and that's awesome. And most of the time when YouTubers make films, they're obviously not great, like, the Smosh movie, or Shane Dawson's movie, or whatever the hell Logan Paul's made. I mean, most times YouTuber films are not great because they're just super. They either amplify a lot of the stuff about YouTubers and what they do to not funny degrees or whatever. I've seen one YouTuber film that's like the Smosh movie, but I mean, we all know the gist. They're never great. They're never great. They're never even decent or average a lot of time. I mean, I didn't mind the Smosh movie, but still, what am I talking about? But yeah, this movie this is actually genuine movie they directed. It's not like pandering to their audience. It's actually a genuine an original idea written, properly directed and shot and acted and everything. It's really great. So I thought it should be kind of fitting to review the movie as it is made by some YouTubers and I'm here as a YouTuber myself. I thought it'd be kind of fitting to do for a review. And so yeah, I just blanked completely what I was about to say. But yeah. Anyway, so Talk to Me is a horror film that they made independently back in Australia with some companies there, but then A24 bought the rights when it premiered at Sundance. And the film is basically about, the general gist of it is that it's a possession film. It's basically about a bunch of high school students have this prosthetic, or not a prosthetic, it's a fake hand that, in the film they do talk about and hint that it might have been an actual hand one time years ago that was covered in cement and got sliced off a person's hand. So it might be an actual real skeleton underneath it, or I guess maybe cement could have preserved it. I'm not really sure. They just kind of allude to maybe that's possibly what it is, or they say that's what they heard from the grapevine from the guy bought it from, that's what it could be. And these kids basically have they kind of parties. They have weird, as stupid teenagers I guess do, the normal stuff. They have this hand, have possession parties where basically you have to hold on to the hand and say, talk to me. And a spirit will come, sit right in front of you, and you have to say, I let you in, and the spirit will then possess your body. And you all just gather around, record videos and whatever, and just see what random crap the spirit will do in your body. Which is, all us teenagers did that at least at one point, didn't we? We all just gather around and have a spirit possess us to see, will they make us, crash a car, or crap our pants, or, rent Gods of Egypt? I don't know. I'm trying to think of a bad movie. But for the film in particular, we follow our lead character of Mia, played by newcomer Sophia Wilde, who they talked about before, because I actually went to their Comic-Con panel they had San Diego Comic-Con this year, and they talked about to get Sophie Wilde, or I think it's Sophia Wilde, no, I think it's Sophie Wilde, I don't know, but to get her cast in the film, because they very much fought to have her cast in the film. Their studio wanted them to get a bigger name originally, because that was, have a bigger name attached to your film is better, but, they fought hard to get, her in the film, because they thought she'd be a better fit. Which they get her. They ended up losing about $1 million from their budget because of that, though. But I think it paid off. She does great in the film. And the basic gist of the plot of her as our lead character is that, she has some, struggles and anxiety about, of course, her mom has recently passed away, and she does play a part in the spirit stuff as she does, run into and meet her mom in the spirit world, or, does see her spirit when they do some, possessing of hand crap. I have no idea where the hell I was going at what I'm saying. But, basically, her mom comes, she runs into her mom when she starts trying to possess one of her buddies and everything, and, yeah, stuff gets out of hand and wild very quickly. Out of hand. Was not pun intended. But, But yeah, and you know, for the most part, horror films, they're not really films I myself go seek out all the time. Like I have nothing like against them, but they're not really things I personally like have that much care for most time. You know, I've seen a good few amount of horror films. Like I've seen stuff like The Shining and Halloween and Get Out and what was that other Jordan Peele one called before? Not Nope. What was it Us? Yeah, I think it was Us. That one with like Lupita Nyong'o, where it was like, you know, a mirror version of you live underground and all that. But yeah, I don't normally seek out horror films. They're not like something that I'm that interested in. But with this film, it's not really. It's horror film, but I wouldn't say it's like really straight up horror or even that much. Like it's like there's no like there is. I think there was like a jump scare in the movie at one point, but like it's more like, you know, you'll hear a loud noise at some point that's like that's the jump scare thing that comes out of nowhere. But like it's very tame, or not tame, I guess I can't really say, but like it's tame in terms that it's not like super hardcore on horror. It's pretty like mundane in a way. I don't know how to phrase this, but like it's not like in your face jump scare, creepy like monster demon kind of stuff, just like going blah. Like it's pretty like not, it's not like that at all, which to me I think is like better horror films. Like I think maybe a lot of people agree with that. I'm not really sure, but like to me the horror films I've seen, like this one, The Shining and Get Out, like the best kind of horror films are definitely the ones where it's not just like you have Freddy Krueger just popping out of nowhere to like kill you. The horror films are a lot of times more interesting when it's more the situational. The situation is more horrifying than like having a monster pop out. You know, I'm not saying that those kind of horror films are not good. I mean, like the 2017 It film was that was a good one. The original Halloween was also good too. Some of that kind of stuff. But you know, the horror films have, they're more the situation around it and the scenario that you're kind of trapped in. That's what the real kind of creepiness adds to, because the whole idea of like having this hand you can grab onto and just people can possess you, like you have no idea what's gonna happen and what could lead into that, or you know what spirits could look like. I guess like you're all just kind of seeing it from the perspective of like the other people just watching this person getting possessed, and you're kind of seeing what happened. Like that whole element like is almost the unknown in a way, in a different capacity, is much more creepy than a traditional just like pop out of the closet, scare you and everything. And you know, I think it really works, and yeah, I think it worked really well here. So I guess at this point is actually where I should say probably we're going to spoilers now, because it'll be too hard for me to try and like not avoid spoilers and talk about it. So yeah, if you don't want spoilers, you want to see the film, which it's now out on digital and everything, and like I think it's coming soon DVD. I think next month. So if you don't want spoilers right now, just like wait to watch it if you haven't seen it yet. If you have seen it yet, then yeah, stick around. Yeah, the central conflict obviously being with Mia's mom. Once she basically, her friend, apologize also, I have to look up the names also on here, because I saw this film about a month ago, so it's not quite fresh in my memory, some of the names. But yeah, her best friend Jade, they have her little brother Riley, who she was against having her brother like, you know, do the hand possessing thing, but Mia like allowed him to do it, which ended up leading to her mom possessing like Riley, which then led to the mom deciding to like just utterly just brutalize Rob, because the gist about with the hand is that normally you have to let the person hold it for about 60 seconds. If you try and let them hold it for too much longer after that, it's, you know, the spirit could stay in your body. You don't want that. And Mia, of course, they originally were only going to let Riley have about 30 seconds because they didn't want him to be in for too long because he was younger. But then when of course the mom possessed him, she ended up having him hold on to it for too long, and the mom, of course, starts doing some nasty shit, or like gnarly shit, more like it. just brutally injures the kid by smashing his head into like the wall and everything, and almost killing him in the process. And yeah, but then it becomes this like central conflict of like they're trying to like, you know, like fix Riley, make sure he gets well, but also mainly with Mia as she's trying to figure out, because she's not entirely certain about what happened with her mom. Like she knows she died, but she doesn't know what exactly the circumstances of it were. And you know, a lot of the plot is about her trying to figure that out after the whole thing with Riley. And you know, the mom, as she starts talking to Hannigan, and that she managed to grab on the hand, starts actually talking to her mom. And you know, the mom, it's really interesting, the whole plot, because like the mom tries to mess with Mia, because I mean the mom is not on her side though. I mean, she acts like it, but she's not, because she's like evil, like corrupted spirit. Like she tries telling her that, you know, her dad, the dad living with her in the house right now, he's actually currently possessed also. That's not the real dad. The real dad is gone. And the spirit actually killed the mom. Again, all not true. And, like, it really just messed with Mia a lot. And also makes Mia believe also that the only way to, like, fix Rob, because basically they try thinking that the reason why Roddy's not getting better, and also he keeps trying to hurt himself also sometimes when he's not attended to in the hospital, is because the spirit is, like, stuck in him still and everything. And so they think maybe the idea is that, oh, what if we give him the hand again, and I try and find, like, I try to go diving in, getting a spirit to help me find his spirit, which is trapped away, which is, you know, they lied to them at first, which we don't know at first, but, like, they lied to her at first by basically saying that he's trapped and these demons are just kind of tearing at him a lot and just keeping him in eternal suffering, basically. And the mom makes Mia think that, you know, the only way to help him and to stop his suffering is to kill him, which does not happen at all, obviously, or, like, if you've seen the movie, it does not happen. So she doesn't do that, and then Mia will just kill herself instead. She jumps in, because now she's kind of now traumatized, or now is going to be, I think now constantly going to be kept being haunted by the whole spirit thing with her mom. I think it was like, I just can't quite recall what exactly that was. I'm not entirely certain about what it was. I think what was happening is that I think she, like, the mom, her spirit of her mom might be now, like, permanently, like, just haunting her and all that stuff. So I think for her, she wanted to end her suffering by, you know, like, killing herself, which she does. And, you know, now she's one of the spirits, and by the end she becomes one of the spirits in the hand that people talk to now. And Raleigh ends up also being okay, so there's all that. We really did, like, just jump to the ending here of the movie, my review here. It's a bit scattered brain how I'm talking about this, because it was over, like, 2 months ago I saw this, basically. And it's also a short movie, by the way. I didn't say that up front, but, like, it's like an hour 30 movie, so, like, it's a pretty short film to just kind of watch and everything. But, I mean, yeah. But, like, all the way through, like, just I think, like, I mean, all the actors' performances definitely sell well. Like, Sophia Wilde, who plays Mia, like, again, I've said she's great, but she is really great. She conveys a lot of, like, the trauma she has and, like, just the, you know, the struggle she has in her head about, you know, what's going on with her mom. I mean, it's also obviously her mom, you know, she killed herself. That's what actually happened, and her dad just didn't tell her that full detailed story. She just was led to believe that something else happened to her, but, like, her dad couldn't bring himself at first tell her that that's what happened, but that is what happened. But yeah, she, like, conveys a lot of the struggle and just, you know, like, torment and, like, anxiety very well in this movie. And yeah, I think she did a great job here. But also, again, like, everything about the film, like, just the whole movie, like, I'm watching it knowing that it was a film made by these guys from YouTube, but, like, I knew that, but I never watched it thinking, like oh man, that was, like, they did this. I mean, there were times definitely I was like that, but everything just felt like actually, like, genuine, like, filmmaking, like, how you would actually do movies. Like, there's some great, like, cinematography in it at different points. There's, like, one great, like, dream sequence that happens in, like, in the bedroom where, like, Mia's dreaming about, like, with her ex-boyfriend and everything. It's, like, it's a great cinematography shot where, like, it starts off, like, where she's on the bed sleeping, but then it transitions to, like, have the bed, like, sitting upwards right, and then Mia walks off the bed and everything, and, like, awake now in a dream with her ex-boyfriend kissing, which, like, that was kind of, like, a really great shot. I was like, damn, that's impressive. And the film also utilized very little, or, like, actually probably maybe no special effects. I think the only special effect they said was in the film was the eyeballs blinking on the animatronic kangaroo, because they have, like, a dead kangaroo in the middle of the road at one point in the film that, like, is animatronic, and I think the only CGI was the eyes of it blinking, because they couldn't quite get that right. But that's about it. Like, everything else, like, just practical stuff. There was even a scene they said they had, or, like, not cut, but they altered, when Mia originally got first possessed in the movie, originally her hair was kind of like, she was kind of be in this kind of state of, you know, possession where she was, like, in a, almost like she was drowning, where, like, her hair was going to be moving about and everything, and, like, but they decided to cut that from the movie because it just didn't look that great. It looked kind of weird. I mean, they said the effect looked great, but it kind of took you out of the scene a bit, so they cut it out, and it still worked. Just having just a very basic possession where you just see the eyes go black and just the person's whole persona changes is quite good. It's like, it's very effective. You don't really need too much for that, and that's all good. And again, the writing's also pretty solid here. I mean, honestly, like, all the kids, they feel like genuine, like, just proper, like, high school kids. I mean, like, they're all kind of like a lot of them are like, you know, they can be, some of them are douchey, some of them are like, you know, like full of it a bit sometimes, and they're always like, nah, come on, do this thing, and like, you know, just being, you know, they all feel like just genuine, real, like, high school kids and everything. I think that all translated really well here. Again, all the performers did very well here. They're all basically unknown actors. None of them are like majorly well-established actors. I think the only one is Jade's mom, who she's the one that was like majorly established actor beforehand. She's been in like, she was in Lord of the Rings, she was in Two Towers and Return of the King. So she's a bigger name actor, but like everyone else is lesser known, like Aussie actors. So, and yeah, and that was all great. The makeup effects on a lot of the spirits was pretty good. Like, it was all like, a lot of them were like, nothing like too wild in how the spirits look. Like, the spirits don't look like anything like Beetlejuice kind of crazy spirits, where they're like, some have like long, like elongated necks, or some look like they're just half skeleton or like goo monsters. Like, a lot of them are kind of like these like burnt skin, like maybe their eyeballs are a little messed up. Like, but yeah, it's all great makeup effects. It all look really good, and again, it's also just creepy. I mean, again, it's not like a straight up, like, there's no, like, real massive horror things in it. Like, that's what my brother and my cousin, when we saw it, like, we were all kind of like, it wasn't really that scary, but, like, it was very good. Like, it just kind of, like, again, the situation, it felt more creepy, because, like, the whole time I was very, you know, I wouldn't say uneasy, but I was very kind of, like, I wasn't uneasy at all watching the film, because, again, it's not, like, that kind of creepy. But, you know, I was very, like, you know, I was nervous about what was going to happen to all these characters, and see, like, you know, what's going to happen to Mia and Riley and everything. So, like, that was all crazy. And, again, you don't need any of that kind of jump scare stuff in all your horror films, and it shows here very well. Music was also something that was very good in this film. Like, of course, it's obviously, like, your more, like, creepy sounding music that sounds quite good here. But also, there's another song they wrote. I thought it was, like, a song they got for the movie, but it was one they actually wrote for it, or like composed for it. It's like a party song. It's like a very upbeat song that doesn't, you wouldn't think came from a horror film, but it's an upbeat song that you hear playing during the party scene when like they're like doing the second-hand possession stuff with, you know, Riley and everything. And like, it's a very like upbeat song. Like, if you can find it online, if you're on Spotify probably, but like, yeah, I don't know the name of the song, I put it right here what it was, but like, it's a very upbeat, like, just kind of fun song, which I think was kind of funny, which I think also works for them, because again, their style of videos are, you know, action and violence, but also have a hint of like humor and comedy, and, you know, there's a lot of like funny stuff like that. There was actually some funny moments in the film, aside from all of the possession and like, you know, sad and kind of disturbing stuff. Like, there's a part like when Jade's boyfriend, who is Mia's ex-boyfriend, and also, which they're fine with, mostly. Yeah, he gets possessed because he tries with the hand, and the spirit that possesses him ends up making him, like, pretend he's, like, dry humping, and, like, starts making out with the dog. Like, he makes a lot of, like, weird noises, like he's acting like he's having sex. Like, it's weird shit like that, but, like, it was funny. Well, I think also really helped, like, break up some tension in some of these scenes. Like, of course, it's not everywhere throughout the movie, it's only like a few key parts. But yeah, it helps break up the tension, I think, in the movie, those quick parts of comedy and humor and levity, I think. Which, again, could maybe not work in other films maybe with horror, if you're trying to be like very horror-esque and you're trying to inject some of that comedy. It sometimes could not work, but here I think it did work pretty well. I guess if there was like one thing I had to nitpick on, and this very much is a nitpick, I think, because I've praised the rest of the movie, is that, so, when Mia's mom is like leading her on, like confusing her about what's actually happening and about what her intentions are, you know, at one point she tricks her into thinking that the spirit, this evil version of her dad, is like trying to break into her room and starts trying to choke out and kill Mia, which is actually not the case. It's all in her head. She's like, Mia's kind of like, I think she was like choking herself, basically, almost. I can't quite recall what she was doing. Like, I mean, it wasn't real. No one actually was choking her. It was all in her head. And like, her dad, the actual dad, hears it and tries to go into the room to help her, and finds her like, you know, on the ground, like being fake choke. And he tries to help her, but she thinks she's trying to kill like the actual, her actual dad, because he's trying to attack her. So she grabs scissors that are nearby and like stabs him in the throat. But then she realizes what was actually happening, that wasn't her dad, because her dad, she then saw her dad just got over to her, and she stabbed him in the neck, and to him, like, he had no idea what was going on, and at first I thought he died, and I thought that wasn't the case the entire time, because even at the end, when Mia is now a spirit in the hospital just wandering around and hearing her dad. What I thought happened originally, originally thought in my head was being interpreted, and maybe that still is, but I don't think it was, not what my brother said at least what was happening, but because when she's in the hospital walking and she realizes that she's dead, she can't get anyone's attention because no one can hear her because she's, dead. Her dad was also there and was walking, and because you never see him, like, actually brought to the hospital. We know Jade goes to Mia's house and finds her dad there because she had to lead. Mia had to trick Jade to go there so she could go originally try to kill Riley, but she of course would do that. But we never see her dad actually go to the hospital and be treated or anything. We didn't know what the status of him was, so I thought he was dead. And what happened was in that final scene was that her dad was also there in the spirit world, but he was murdered. Like he was a good man. So I thought, because the scene with him, they are walking down the hallway of the hospital, and he goes into the elevator, and the lights all around Mia in the hospital start turning off as she walks closer to her dad, and the only light that's left is the light inside the elevator. And so when the elevator door closes, then her dad's gone, and he's in the elevator. I originally thought, how I interpreted it, was that her dad was going to heaven. I thought that's what the point was, why Mia, the lights were going off all around her. She's going to hell because she killed him for that and his punishment, and he's going to heaven. Which that wasn't the case, obviously, but I mean, again, this is like super nitpicky. I wouldn't even say it's like a nitpick gripe I have, because like it still worked, but like I feel like it could have been really interesting to have like that is the reason why maybe Mia is now in the spirit world as one of the ghosts that can like possess you when you hold the hand. Because I thought maybe that's like part of her punishment that she killed her dad. I thought that would have been like, and it also would have like maybe adds like why she thinks she had to kill herself, because she feels like she has to now because she killed her dad. Obviously that's not the case and everything, but again, that's like such a nitpicky thing I have. I was so fine with how it happened though. That's how I originally thought. I guess how I interpreted it originally. Honestly, I wouldn't even say it's a nitpick. Honestly, I'm not even sure why. I guess I'm just saying how I interpreted the scene originally. So yeah, it's not even really a nitpick. Honestly, I don't think that's really a nitpick. It's just kind of like that's how my brain thought it was at first, but then I was wrong, mistaken. So I guess I'm just trying to say it's a nitpick, but I don't think it really is, honestly. So yeah, that's the only thing I have like a different interpretation of in my head. But then my brother told me otherwise. Actually, that's what was happening. But also, another interesting thing about the spirit world is also, I guess when you're a spirit, like, it's interesting how time seems to pass by differently for you, because in the time after she gets hit by the car and dies, she, becomes a spirit, and we see her wandering around as, like, the cars and onlookers are looking at her body down the street. But then, almost in a split second, she jumps to the hospital, like, no time has passed, like, in just barely, like, 0.1 seconds, she's in the hospital and seeing, like, Jay and her mom taking Riley out of the hospital now, because now he's fine. Because again, the spirits weren't actually like tormenting him for the rest of the time. They were just screwing with him. He ended up being fine after all. I guess it was just maybe some leftover like residue from the spirit, I guess, messing with his head. I'm not quite certain, or maybe mom was doing something still. I'm not quite certain. Yeah, I guess that's something I didn't fully understand what happened there. Like I thought. Like, because at first he was still trying to like hurt himself while he was in the hospital. Like he was trying to like kill die still after the spirit had left him, or I guess maybe like the spirit was like because he held onto the hand for a while. So I guess maybe like there was leftover spirit something in there possibly. I guess that is like one thing I didn't quite fully understand about how he seemed to be still kind of under effects of a spirit, but then he seemed he was fine afterwards. So I'll have to rewatch again at some point. But yeah, but she's in the hospital, and it was like barely any seconds went by of her popping in the hospital and trying to get their attention. And then once she's in this like dark room, just this dark empty void, she sees a light, and I thought maybe that was some kind of like hell thing or whatever. But then she goes over to it, and it's like a table with a hand reaching out, and she holds on to it, and she finds that now she's in the spirit world. She's one of those people that people can like meet and talk to with the hand, but again, it's interesting because now, because previously Mia had the hand, and it was still in her house last time we saw it, but now all of a sudden it's with, like, these other people. I think they were in Mexico, I think, for the last, I think it was in Mexico where this new group of teenagers had the hand, and they had it, and they were interacting with her, so that's, like, freaky. So, like, it's interesting to see how, like, time doesn't really affect the spirit world. It doesn't pass by in a correct, like, chronological way. It's, like, it's very slowed down for her there, but it's like extremely speed up back there, which so that's interesting. But also it's also quite sad how it's like one of the reviews here on Letterboxd, if I can pull that quickly, it's like the top third review on here from someone named Cosmonaut Markey, who said horror movies need to go back to being hopeless and miserable like this, which again, I don't watch a lot of horror films, so I can't speak to how true this is. But yeah, this film very much, like, it doesn't end on like a good note. Again, of course, our main character dies and everything, and now she's doomed to be trapped in this cycle of being with the Hand. But even then, besides that alone, you know, the Hand, like, part of the deal was that the other, like, teenagers, other people from the party that they were with when the whole thing with Riley happened, they told her, when Mia originally told them that, you know, I think I'm gonna use the Hand to try and find Riley in the spirit world. I don't think his spirit is back in his body. I don't think he himself is back in his body. He's probably trapped somewhere. I'm going to use it to try and find him, everything, all that. And they told her afterwards, just once you do that, destroy it. Just get rid of it. We don't want it anymore after that whole incident. We don't want, just get rid of it. But of course then, she never does, because the whole thing with her mom happens, and, you know, the ending happens where she dies, and now the Hand is still just there. I mean, it's always possible that Jade did, you know, like, take it, but who really knows, because I'm not really sure. Again, we don't really see what happens at the house after, like, Mia leaves, really, and Jade finds the dad. Like, police maybe turn it into a crime scene at first. I have no idea. Like, we have no idea what happened with the Hand. Like maybe Jade did throw it away, but maybe they went into the river, but it washed up on shore in Mexico, maybe, which I'm not sure how likely that would be. But we have no idea. Again, like, Mia didn't keep the promise of destroying the Hand because she got too wrapped up in the whole thing with her mom, and that really screwed with her, and like she let it lead her on too much. And yeah, now the Hand is still out there for people to do this same crap could happen to. You know, it's always possible that Mia could, like, talk to these people that she meets one time and tell them that, get rid of that. I died because of the Hand, so just no, you gotta get rid of it, man. So that actually, I just thought that now, that actually could be an interesting idea if she were to do that, because they are making a sequel to this, actually. The film was very successful, actually, for A24. It was I think their highest opening movie, like, earning movie, I think, maybe? Well, not highest earning, but, like, highest opening movie, probably. Like, or highest opening box office numbers, I think it was. Let me look it up again, what it was. I think it was something along the lines of, like, Talk Me breaks a record for A24 of highest opening box office numbers for the film, I think it was. Okay, so it became A24's highest grossing horror film in the U.S., surpassing Ari Aster's Hereditary. Okay, I actually didn't know about that part. That's interesting. Oh yeah, also I remember, like, Ari Aster even told told Danny and Michael how he thought this was, like, one of the best horror films he'd seen in years. So that's cool. But yeah, it was their highest earning, like, horror film they made. The film had a budget of $4 million, so, like, a very low budget, and made about $6-7 million back. So which that's a big hit. Obviously, that's a lot. You earn back more than your budget and marketing, obviously. And yeah, shortly after it went out in theaters and became a hit, they announced they're doing a sequel to it. And, you know, I'm curious to see what they could be like. That's what I was thinking about with Mia, now that I just thought of that with Mia, how maybe in a sequel, because they'll follow new characters, obviously. There'll be a new group of characters dealing with the Hand, new circumstances could happen. But it could be an idea to, like, maybe have Mia pop up as one of the spirits, maybe as a quick cameo in a sequel, to tell this person talking into the Hand how I actually used this Hand before you guys did. I had it before. I died. That's how I'm here. I let it, like, get the best of me. Like, the spirit of my mom was in there, and, like, it screwed with me, and I ended up, like, you know, like, dying in the process. I let myself die, but, like, I killed myself, but, like, you know, it's because of the Hand. This Hand led me to all these circumstances and why that happened, so get rid of it. So I think that could be interesting to do. But they also said, Danny and Michael Philippo also said that they have, like, a Bible book about the lore and history of the Talk to Me Hands. They said in this book they have, like, because the Hand has a bunch of just, like, different, like, inscriptions on it, like, different names and everything of, like, all the people over the years who have held the Hand. So we have no idea how long this has been going on for. And I think they may have said how long. They may have, like, alluded to or hinted at maybe how long it was going on for, how long it's been around, this Hand in the movie. I can't quite recall. But, like, they said they have in this Bible of like, the background, history, and lore of, like, all these names on the Hand. And, you know, what spirits they saw, what happened to them, you know, so there's definitely room, oh, sorry, there's definitely room for, like, an idea to have a new cast of characters go on some other kind of creepy adventure with this hand, or even a film set, like, way before the events of this one, like, maybe back, like, in the 90s or something like that. Like, they could do anything like that. I mean, they also do have a prequel to this film. They did shoot a prequel, like, all in the style of, like, from the perspective of, like, a phone, like, from, like, social media and everything, which, like, because the film opens up with, like, this guy's brother ends up also killing himself out of, like, you know, the suffering he got from the hand and all that stuff happened, and they said they shot a prequel with, like, that guy and his brother, like, they shot a prequel about, you know, from the perspective of social media, showing that whole thing. I have no idea how long it is. Like, I can't imagine it'd be too long. Like, I'm thinking maybe it could be a thing, like a special feature on the DVD, maybe. I'm not really sure. I have no clue. I mean, they said they hope to release it one day. So it's shot, basically, so I have no idea if we'll see it. And I imagine we probably will if it is a thing. Like, it could be on the DVD. I have no idea. But, yeah. I mean, also, I wasn't quite certain when I first heard they were doing a sequel to this film, because I'm like, well, what could they really do? But I think about it, I'm like, you know, they could do something. Because I guess part of the problem with horror films, a lot of times, it is, like, you keep forcing, like, the same story, maybe, when you do sequels. But, I mean, again, that could be the case if the sequel happens. We have no idea. But, I mean, there is room to do, like, new stories and, like, and see, like, because, I mean, again, doing, like, possession with spirits, like, anyone, like, could have so many different varying experiences with that hand. So, like, yeah, you can actually lead to a bunch of different interesting outcomes, I guess, with what could happen with that hand. So, yeah, I'm absolutely down. I'm absolutely down to see what they would do with a sequel. So I'd be curious by that. So, yeah. Yeah, I mean, honestly, I don't think I have much else to talk about right now. I mean, I didn't think I would go on for this long with this review, honestly. Because I was scared at first for how I was talking about the review of the movie that I was going to, like, run out of things to talk about very quickly. I got, like, a good amount of stuff here, actually, by the end. So, yeah. Honestly, a really great film. Everything I think. Again, I have, like, I guess those slight nitpicks I made, but they're not even really that nitpicky, I would say. Like, overall, I would give this film, I gave it a 9 out of 10. Honestly, I think, like, I thought it was just really good. It was, like, it had a really compelling narrative. It was, like, really interesting to follow. You know, the lead character was great with Mia, with, like, Sophie Wilde playing her. And even other stuff, as I was reading my review I put on Letterboxd, I forgot about, there's even other stuff she does super well in the film, how, like eye acting alone. Like, she conveys so much of her trauma and, like, tension in, like, her eyes alone, which, like, she's really good in this film. She's really great. I hope to see her in more stuff, like, soon afterwards. But yeah, like, she's great in this. A lot of their characters are great. The camera work and writing and effects and makeup, all really good. And just, yeah, a great ending. And yeah, just a solid film. Honestly, I really liked it. It was definitely, I think, it could be one of my favorites of the year. I'm not really sure. I'm definitely gonna buy that DVD when it comes out. Cause yeah, I mean, I love the RackaRacka guys, so I definitely want to get that DVD. So, yeah, absolutely an achievement from the two of them, Danny and Michael Philippou. Like, if you're watching this, I doubt if you are. I also am pretty certain I'm pronouncing the last name wrong. I think it's Philippou, not Philippou. I could be wrong. I forget, actually. I don't know. No, I'm pretty sure it's Philippou. It's Philippou. No. I actually now forget. Is it Philippou or Philippou? I don't know. But anyways, if you guys are watching this, I doubt you are. But congrats. Terrific film. A big achievement for you guys. And yeah, and also big achievement for, like, I guess, YouTubers to show that YouTubers can make something, an actual genuine movie, and not just, you know, the other YouTube-based films that we've seen before in the past. But yeah, this was really good. So yeah, I'm so excited to see, like, what they do with a sequel if that prequel comes out. They are also currently working on a Street Fighter movie. That's what they're doing next right now, which I've played, like, a little bit of Street Fighter. I've played a little bit of, like, I think, the original arcade game and, like, the Street Fighter 5 from, like, a few years ago. But not a lot. I've been more so a Mortal Kombat player. But, you know, even though I'm not that big of a guy on Street Fighter, I'm definitely going to go see that movie. I mean, like, I'm going to watch it. Like, they've already been showing how they're doing a lot of big research on the lore and history of the games and, like, you know, novels and, like, mangas and whatever they've made about Street Fighter. I'm not really sure. But yeah, they've done a lot of research, so I'm definitely excited to see what they do with that film. Fight scenes alone will definitely be great with that film. If you've seen their stuff, I think action will look great with that film. So yeah. Also, here's this clip I actually got from Comic-Con when I asked them a question at their panel. So here it is. If you want to go check it out. Hello, big fan of you guys. And I question about actually the Street Fighter project you mentioned, because I remember also a while ago you guys said that you would turn down a project from DC actually recently for something. So I want to know what was the process of turning down that, but then doing this project instead.
We can't talk on anything other than the Street Fighter thing. But we didn't turn down. This is Danny Danny just saying things like, "Shut up! You never turned down." You didn't get offered a DC thing, Michael. Okay, we're so used to the industry, we don't know the specific terms for certain things. But I will say that see, I don't know what I'm allowed to say because I get told off when I say things. It's a good question, and I'm scared to answer it. But we love DC and we love James Palacios.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
That was absolutely cool when I got to meet them there, or got to ask them a question. It was really cool. So yeah, Talk to Me, 9 out of 10. I think it's a great film. Definitely. I mean, of course, if you're into horror films, if you have a tolerance for them, and if you're not too freaked out or scared by them, I say definitely go watch it. If you're not into that kind of stuff, and you're not into something into horror elements like possession, that kind of storyline stuff, probably won't be the film for you. But I mean, I thought it was great. Honestly, it's a great movie. So yeah, yeah, that's it. Thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed my review on Talk to Me. Tell me what you all thought of it down in the comment section down below. I'm interested in hearing all your thoughts. And do any of you guys also watch RackaRacka? Have you guys watched them even before this movie came out? I'd be definitely interested in knowing. So yeah, let me know all that down below in the comments. And yeah, thank you all for watching. I'll see you guys later for the next video on the channel, and so hopefully for another movie review, whatever that might be one day. So yeah, we'll definitely do another movie review at some point on whatever I feel like reviewing on. So yeah, we'll just have to wait and see what I end up reviewing next for a movie. So yeah, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys all later. Goodbye.
Hey, it's Yuri Lowenthal here. You might know me from this Marvel Spider-Man games or other places as well. You're tuned in to 100 Bomb Studios. Hit like and subscribe, but only if you like really, really nerdy stuff. Because that's why I'm here.